public inquiry into how thousands of haemophiliacs were infected with hepatitis C and HIV in the 1970s and 80s will hear evidence from clinicians over the next 2 days. Some patients were treated at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital in Birmingham and the Children's Hospital. Our reporter Joanne Riddle has been following proceedings for us. Joanne, firstly, explain what this inquiry is all about.
Well, it all fits into a UK-wide inquiry which victims and their families have pushed for decades. Now, thousands of haemophiliacs were infected with HIV and hepatitis C after they were given a protein called factor VIII to help clot their blood. But the plasma was infected after it was imported from America. In some cases, prisoners had been paid to donate what was dirty blood. Now, Andrew Evans was just 5 years old when he sadly contracted HIV and hepatitis C. By the time he was 16, he had full-blown AIDS. Now, he lives in Evesham now. He's chairman of the campaign group Tainted, which has pushed really hard for this public inquiry.
And my parents was told several times that, you know, they ought to say their goodbyes to me, that I wasn't going to outlive this. But luckily I managed to, and the combination therapies came out, and I've really tried to rebuild my life since then. Although it's been tricky, because when you lose 4 of your most formative years, you become something of a social outcast.
Jo, who else have you spoken to?
Well, I've also spoken to Susan Threakall. Now, we can see her here with her late husband, Bob. This was filmed back in 1990, just 5 months before he sadly died, aged just 47. He too was a haemophiliac, and he also contracted both HIV and hepatitis C.
We had a son who was 7 at the time. He got his 2 older boys who lived with us. He didn't want to leave me. He didn't want to leave his children, his elderly mum, his sister. You know, he enjoyed life until this happened, and he would have wanted that to continue. And I firmly believe that without using that commercial product, he'd probably still be here today.
Well, the victims gave their evidence last year. This afternoon and tomorrow, we're expecting to hear from Birmingham clinicians who were working at around the time the infected blood products were used.
Joanne Riddle, thank you.